It's a mindset thing, and it's not something that is you can quickly draft. You really need to see the organization, the vision, the ambition, depend on the industry,
Yeah.
and help them to think outside of the box.
Mm,
And I have a process. It's an established process. It's not something you do in one step. It's
right.
really, that's why I advocate for self transformation in
Mm,
leaders.
mm.
Because when the leader is self transformed, then the leader is able to think higher at a different level.
Welcome to the Rozy Effect, where I give you the keys to lead digital transformation. I'm your host, Rozy Amponza. Today's guest, Nadia Vincent, is an MIT Sloan certified digital transformation and artificial intelligence executive advisor with over 2 decades of international experience. She's also ranked as a global top 10 digital transformation expert. Nadia is the author of Leveraging Digital Transformation, a professional keynote speaker, leadership coach, and trainer. She's about to take us to school. Nadia is the founder of digitaltransformationleaders.com, the ultimate training and coaching platform for transformation leaders. She earned her MBA from UBI with a specialization in IT management and holds 2 MIT Sloan executive certificates, strategy and innovation, and management and leadership. Originally from the Caribbean, she's lived and worked in numerous countries throughout the world. She speaks French, English, Spanish, Creole. I might have to learn a few words from her today. Nadia consults worldwide and currently resides in Brussels, Belgium. This is going to be a good conversation. Let's get into it. Nadia, it is a pleasure to finally have an opportunity to chat with you. Welcome to the Rozy Effect.
Thank you very much, Rosie.
Oh man, this is going to be a good conversation. You know, your expertise in digital transformation, the key elements that leaders need to, focus on in order for them to thrive. That's really what got me excited to reach out to you. And I'm so grateful you found the time to chat with us. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, it's a pleasure, and I hope that I will be able to bring some more insight to your questions and to anyone who is watching, listening as well, that they could find the questions answered.
Absolutely, absolutely. Nadia, based on, the deep expertise you have with digital transformation, can you share with me how leadership should look at defining what success looks like when we look at embarking on that digital transformation route?
Okay, great question, Rosie. The thing is that success, it's a word, it depends, it varies for who hold the word success. And in that sense, I can tell you for any business leaders, any organization leader to consider the digital transformation a success, it will be to be able to reach the goal that they set for the transformation.
Mm-hmm.
That will be easy. However, there is a big misconception about what digital transformation is. And we've seen that mostly with the COVID-19, that lately organizations, they achieve much more in a short time than normal time due to the urgency with the COVID-19. And that's
Yeah.
when a lot of them are realizing that they achieved their goal, but they are not transformed. This is
No.
one thing I've been warning people about implementing partial transformation. That means they had goals, they achieved their goals,
Mm-hmm.
but they're still not transformed.
There's no sort of change per se. It's
They
just,
are change, but not transformation.
I
So
see.
therefore, when I say that success is for the organization to achieve their goals, but if they achieve their goal and they are not transformed, then I realize, okay, we need to help organizations define their goal, their transformative goals correctly, because they underestimate all what they are capable of achieving
Mm,
with the transform world,
okay.
because They see their goals, they create their goals with limiting belief. So in that sense, I've been coaching and creating a workshop helping leaders to redefine their vision for their
Mm,
business,
mm.
visions and goals for the digital age.
For the digital,
It's
yeah.
only simply because they lack some of the knowledge, some insight on all what they are capable of
What they can,
achieving.
yeah, yeah.
Therefore, the goals are not they're not transformative enough. So,
Mm.
providing that the goals are transformative and achieving the goal, that's what will achieve success for the
Do it.
organization.
So for someone that is trying to figure out, are my goals transformative enough? How should they be thinking, or give us a bit of an insight or an example on a customer you worked with where you shifted or you pushed that mindset from just creating incremental change to actually creating transformative measures for your business?
Okay. Well, it's a mindset thing, and it's not something that is you can quickly draft. You really need to see the organization, their vision, their ambitions, depend on their industry,
Yeah.
and help them to think outside of the box.
Mm,
And I have a process. It's an established process. It's not something you do in one step. It's
right.
really, that's why I advocate for self-transformation in
Mm,
leaders.
mm,
Because when the leader is self-transformed, then the leader is able to think higher at a different level, function at a different level of vibration. And as well, it's creating awareness about the digital technologies. There is a strategy. Without the strategy, the digital technology is like dumb.
mhm,
You see?
mhm.
And you need to put the strategy and the technology together. But as well, you need the mindset.
The right
The
mindset.
mindset is the person who is capable of thinking it creatively.
Mm, mm. What would you say is the greatest challenge for when you come into a project, a customer? What would you say is the greatest challenge that you notice across the board that you would really urge for leaders to start looking into this and digging further?
Simple. It's always people mindset.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. And you know what's funny? I didn't even mention it earlier because I had seen it in your book and I had seen those keys. I told you I grabbed your book. I
Yeah,
had to see what you were
yeah,
up to.
you tell
And
me.
I saw the three key the once you mentioned, I was like digging into researching it a bit. And just like you said it, the key, there's the digital transformation, the value of the mindset of a leader and being
Mhm.
able to think creatively and actually, be championed to lead that transformation, lead that change within the
Yeah.
organization. Oh,
Because you know what's happening. You see in the formula, the F for fear. The
mm-hmm.
thing is that we are living an age, an era, which is the industrial age. We had so many things acquired for us. There are people who studied several years to go to work in a profession, and the profession doesn't exist anymore,
Nope.
disappear, you see?
Nope. Very
So
true.
it's a lot of things that we get used to, or we learn to function, and then we have to simply put away and adopt a different mindset.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something that we can do overnight.
Mm-hmm.
It takes time.
Mm.
Even myself, I'm telling you, I've been in digital technology. It took me time. There are things that you will encounter. You will need time to shift, to accept the thing the way it is,
Mm-hmm.
and to go further.
Mm.
And some of the points that I use to help people think more creatively, it's the opportunities. First, they have a global market, as I say. So stop thinking locally. Even if you are selling locally to people locally, think
Think
about
global.
how you can include just the world in it.
Yeah.
Your business is for the world, even if
Yes.
the people buying are just here.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that I also speak about virtualization. We don't need to be in the same place to work together. There
Mm.
is the digital technologies, the different format that you can have document, and now we are interacting. We are not in the same room. We are at
But we're
different
able
places.
to connect. Yeah.
And even for the case where some stuff we cannot have them just as digital like that, there are some other technologies that allow you to that, like taking, for example, some surgery can be done while one doctor is in Asia, the other one is in Europe.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we need to think of virtualization. The space is redefined.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Space
It's
is redefined.
the virtual world and sort of the real life, those
Yes,
edges are really blending in together. And it's
exactly.
about leadership defining how do we take advantage, right, and still be able to get to the customer, because like you said, you're inspiring your clients and customers to not just think local, to think on a global scale, because the need is there, right? The path to the
Mhm,
consumer might change, but the
mhm.
desire, the need is there. So how do you then utilize the way the virtual world is coming together with real world to still be able to serve your end consumers, to still be able to deliver value? Wow.
Exactly.
Wow.
And another thing, what could you achieve if you could have all the information that you need? If you could decrease all risk. For example, sometimes you want to take a decision, but you hesitate and you say, well, it may be, if I take the wrong decision, it might be a failure. Just right here, or I might be very successful. Today, there is no guess anymore. As
No.
long as you have data with artificial intelligence, you can create, you can shape it so that you have it's not even assistant. You see, secret services used to be something exponential, something big. Now everybody has secret services with
Yes.
artificial intelligence. It's just
Yes.
about creating it.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing, again, it's about power or strength.
Tell me more
Still, with
about that.
artificial intelligence, with robot, we can use anything that is physical. We can have many robots to help us with
To
that.
manage it. So augmenting the current employees and workforce and things like that with
Yes,
robotics, really
yes.
utilizing so the output, right, of the product or whatever it might be, the
Mhm.
quality of it, the consistency of it, the amount that can be put out, you're definitely able to
Anything
do.
of it. Because now, with artificial intelligence, you have the brain, you also have the strength, the
The
manual,
manpower to be able to do
the
it. Wow.
manpower as well.
Wow.
So that's two. And what more could I say? Yeah, data.
Yeah. Yeah.
Data. There are so much information we are processing, like long before we need to search and go to reference, and but now with a machine, although we have all that in our head, we cannot always remember everything accurately.
Hmm.
Sometimes we have to think about it
Hmm.
and cannot process too many information at once. But put the machine, I mean, the machine and the human, they are complementary.
Yes. To be able to augment and work together.
The capacity of computers today, I mean, it's out of this world compared like to 20, 30, 50 years ago, because the brain, the artificial intelligence was there already,
Yeah.
but it wasn't active, it wasn't powerful, simply because the computer was not powerful enough
To
to
manage
hold
it.
and to process all that information at once. But
Okay.
now the technology, the machine can. So that means we can have so much data, process all this data at once with
Hmm.
computer speed. I mean, it's uh, it's an exceptional world to be
Mm.
alive, and that means it's a lot of things for us to achieve to create the digital world.
Yeah.
Our world is to create the digital world, and we
Mm.
need to unleash our mind to think out of the box so that we can create that world with all the possibilities that we have today.
Mm, mm. When you come into a client and they have data which tends to be really not organized in a fashion that is usable, they might not really realize the full value of the data that they have. How do you go about getting them to identify value within the data that they have, and also connecting it with a business use case that they can test it to the business and actually start utilizing these AI solutions or tech solutions on that path of transformation?
Well, we have some people who specialize in that, in data, who can
Hmm.
help them find the patterns in existing data.
Hmm.
But today, the thing is that we are showing them how to structure the data so that it can be used for artificial intelligence. It can use for business intelligence.
Hmm.
Because before, it was a mess. And in that mess, we have machine learning, we have different tools and technique that data scientists use to make sense of all this data.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for the future, we are having data with a purpose, because before it was data saved without purpose. And now the biggest challenge is to make sense of this data. But there are many tools helping people making
To do
sense
that.
of it.
Mm-hmm.
But in order to be effective, it's about the key point, the key indicator in any business. So in any business, we need to get the metric, what makes sense, what are the indicators, and how we make sense of them. And that will help us to improve the processes, not just only improve them, but there are some processes in organization that today they have no meaning, no value. You can just discard them, reinvent the business, reinvent the process,
Mm-hmm.
and record the data so that later on we can get more intelligence and learn much from it.
Yeah. I'm so glad you touched on getting visibility into an organization, like having visibility into the current state of processes. A lot of legacy systems are not able to work with the current state of innovation. And so being able to figure out which one you really just kind of have to phase out and which ones that, we double down on or we adopt and change, right? To be able to create that transformation that an organization is looking for. But then also there's this aspect of people that you talk a bit in your book, which a pretty dope book, by the way. Let's touch on how leadership is able to really gain visibility into their current state of people, what that really means when an organization is looking to go on this journey, right? Is it just all about technology?
Oh, that would be the biggest mistake. And in
I
fact,
know.
that's the biggest. I always say the technology come last.
Yes,
Because
awesome. Man, I
it
was speaking to
come,
another leader. Please say that again. Say that again.
but I can tell you, I've rescued many transformation projects. It's
Mm-hmm.
never about the technology. It's
No.
true, the technology challenge people because it's new and it get people to work differently. But
Yeah.
it's always about people attitude. Once they change the attitude, once they have the great leader, it's simply flow.
Mm-hmm.
It's again about mindset. So leadership is very important because we are asking people to change. People do not like to change. People want the transformation, they want the reward, but they don't
But
want to
not the
do the
work.
effort.
The
If
work.
I want to lose 50 kilo, for example,
Mm-hmm.
or pound,
Oh
okay,
yeah,
let's
we're
say
in the U.S.
20 pounds, yeah. If you tell me, okay, I have to wake up at 4 in the morning, I have to do this, do that, 2 hour morning, I say, oh gosh, no. Okay, do you have any easy diet pills? Do you have
Let me
something
think
I
about that again.
that tell me that? I mean, I will prefer to pay high dollar to get the miracle pill.
Mm.
It's the same
Mm-hmm.
thing as transformation.
Mm.
Asking people to change, to do the effort, it's people resist. It's normal human brain, normal human being. And what we need is people, we need leader who first self-transform and then they inspire people to do it. Because when they see people, your leader is doing it, and then say, I could try that as well.
It
But
opens up the door.
especially if the leader is not self-transforming and then telling you, what you get is resistance, So,
Oh wow.
and also it's not something easy because some people with the change of procedure, with business reinvention, I can say,
Mm-hmm.
with business reinvention,
Mm-hmm.
many people risk losing their job. And I have worked in many organizations where I see people are protecting their jobs so much that they are sabotaging the project and the program.
Really?
Protecting information, yeah, because if they know you are automating the system, it's going to be done
Oh.
automatically, and then they won't need him anymore. And he doesn't even know what he is going to do, how he's going to pay his mortgage. What does he do? He slow down. That's every day we get that.
Wow. So is this then an opportunity, right, for business leaders to look at ways that they can really create the value by augmenting their employees, upskilling their employees, right? Getting them in a position where they're able to augment the technologies that are coming into play. Is there a responsibility for leadership to do that? And what does that look like so that employees don't end up being positions where you've seen many times in sabotaging themselves, the business, and in the long run, the consumer that the organization is looking to serve?
Definitely, you're right. The leader has a role in that. It's the inspiration. It's inspire people instead of telling them to do it. Inspire and helping the people to self-transform, because no one can do it for them. Before the upskilling, let's say that someone who is resisting, who doesn't want to lose his job, who doesn't want to do other things, because that's one thing. The person doesn't want to do other thing. He wants to continue doing his job the way he used to and sit quietly.
No
Comfort.
change.
Exactly. Except that it's not going to happen. And you will hear he'll blame this person or this other person, but it's not what it's about. Before you cannot send this person simply to go for a training. His mind is not in the training. He's not focusing on that. And he's not ready to build anything. He just to attach to what he's used to. So we need self-transformation to help the person understand that it's not about me, it's not about him, it's not about you. The world is changing. We are going from the industrial age to the digital age. You can resist as much as we want. It won't change anything. The world will still go on. And you, if you resist, don't do anything, you will fall back. Because everyone is moving there. Then there is no option for you. The case will be worse. So what do you choose? Do you stay there? You are not progressing. You are going backward. You is losing everything. Or you have the potential. You need to overcome your mindset. You have the potential. You can go further. You can learn more, and you can join us together. We build a new era where you can thrive, where you will find new opportunity, where you can grow. Your choice. That's the decision leaders need to bring people to. But it's something that's so challenging. It doesn't happen only with words. We need people to take actions. We need people to really feel themselves, reinvent themselves, because they should understand that they do not die with their job. Because what's happening, we have people dying with their jobs. And that's not good, because we are human. We only use 10% of our brain capacity. And on bring people to understand that's the end of this. It's like a project. This is the end of it. You have all the capacity to do more, and we are going forward. You will join the team, and it will be you choosing what you want to do, depend on who you are. So people need to go and rediscover themselves, rediscover their potential, and I help them through workshop, because it's not something that you can just motivate people. Yeah, you motivate them,
And just leave them to go.
Exactly. And then after a couple of 3 days, they have their brain, their mind talking to them. Okay, I was comfortable and this and this and that. The person doesn't want to leave it.
No.
So you need the workshop to help people. So yes, the leaders, they have a role to guide, to inspire these people, to guide these people. Transformation doesn't happen all of a sudden. It happens over time.
It's incremental. It's incremental, definitely. You touched a bit on the impact that COVID-19 has had on businesses. Let's see how leaders can really, take advantage of the unfortunate pandemic, but still maximize their business results. COVID has really exposed vulnerabilities in businesses, from operational output, with communities, being laid bare on the different biases that organizations are experiencing. Where really does opportunity lie for tech leaders when it comes to rebuilding during this new season, right? Leadership has a new opportunity to rebuild teams, to really think about how they're going to build their organizational back from the ground up, thinking about people, thinking about culture. How does that really play a role when you're looking to create an agile, transformative organization?
Okay. I would say start from the top, because I've worked on that before. And actually, the COVID-19 Before the COVID-19, I've been warning organizations that there will be a digital tsunami happening because everything was ready and in line for the digital world to go full digital.
Yeah.
But many organizations keep having one foot in the digital and the other foot in the industrial world.
Very,
So it
yeah.
simply
Yeah.
was a natural process. And it's true, beginning of the last year, I had an interview, I think it was 360. They asked me what my prediction for 2020. And I said that I expect that a digital tsunami will happen. But I will say it's going to be a big innovation, but it's COVID-19 that's making it happen. So
Yeah.
now a lot of organizations find themselves in a situation where they are taking transformation at all level. Where it hurts the most, that's where
They're able
they
to, yeah.
it is good to find solution for urgent things right away, but we
The
should
long
not look at
term.
transformation from there. We need to look at transformation from a business perspective to see what's the business goal, what's the business vision, and where we are going to take our people. And based on that, we go down further and we expand the vision in all the organization.
Mm, mm.
If we look at, let's say, okay, sales, there is a problem, there is not enough sales, or there is a problem here, this function is not operating, not delivering on time, we get lost. And that's what's been happening in a lot of organizations where it hurt most. Before, that's where they've been implementing transformation.
Yeah.
As a result, they have partially transformed organization. And that's one of the reasons as well. I say, when you achieve your goals, your digital transformation goal should be successful. If you're not successful, then your goals were not transformative enough.
Transformative enough.
Mm.
Wow.
So therefore, why I say we need to start it above, and we need the CEO and the IT leaders to team together.
Mm, mm.
Not the IT people to decide on the business outcome. It should be the business leader supported by the IT who is giving more innovative insight about the digital technologies.
Sure.
And because that's also one of the reasons we get lots of failure in digital transformation is that it's the IT leader leading digital transformation because it's seen as an IT.
It's an
And
IT
IT.
thing. And that's the thing where traditionally maybe the IT side of the business is really siloed from, right, the decision makers in the business at large. But in reality, organizations really need to be, as we say, tech organizations, AI organizations. That means that IT leader really now needs to have a seat at the table, and the conversation of transformation doesn't just become an IT implementation thing, but a business sort of overall ground thing from what I'm hearing from you.
Exactly. And also that's one of the reasons that the organization is often left behind because IT control the IT. Who control the whole organization?
Well, the executive team, right? But then you have
Exactly.
IT doing sort of its
Exactly.
own drive.
Exactly. So that's what's happening now in many organizations after IT implement all the technology, but the change, the transformation impact the business and impact everybody, and nobody's caring for the people. Because I can have the best tools, but if I'm not using it, or if I don't know how to use it, or if I
Mm.
wrongly,
Yeah.
it cannot be transformed. While a transform organization is the most powerful thing to have in the transformation.
So what would that look like? What would success look like, right? Bringing IT on board, making sure that employees really are the right mindset. You've talked about the top-down approach. What else should leaders really be thinking about when it comes to leading that charge and being able to create that change?
Okay. Well, the outcome depends on what the organization wants. But in general, I would say the organization is very engaged in the transformation. They participate. They are very innovative. They have an innovative mindset because now they've left the industrial age behind, and that they each are participating in constructing, in building the transformation.
Mm.
And that they have a common vision. They are working toward the vision, how they see the organization, the business in the future,
Mhm, mhm,
and contributing to it.
mhm.
And also, delivery or processes. There are some organizations still working with some processes and some delivery model from yesterday waterfall. I mean, that's like 20 years ago. That's
It used to
now we
be
go by iteration.
comfortable.
Yeah, because in such a process, if they are going wrong, they find out that later at the end of the project and they wasted all the money. You see?
Wow.
So now we need to go by iteration. It's like, okay, let me show you how far we have come. Years ago, we used to buy Microsoft uh, software. We bought it once and it was over. We had it.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if you were active at that time. We bought it. We
I
had the
learned
right.
about it. Yeah.
We had it, and then Microsoft will come with newer version. Few people will buy it because they say mine is working. Mine is working. I don't need the new tools, new feature in it. So
Mhm.
nobody was buying them. Then they realize, that's not the good way to make money. So what they do, instead of selling you the software where you buy it, you use it for years until they come for you, they rent it to you. So now every year you have to pay. And if you do not pay, they cut it. You have nothing. You
Yeah.
see? That's how they but it doesn't have to be perfect at first. As you go, you will find way to adjust it, but you need to start innovating. So it's the same thing for every business. They need to reinvent their business model. They
Mm.
need to reinvent their processes. They need to question them today. You
Mm.
see, and the thing is that transformation is not, it's not like a project. You do it, it's over, it's finished. The thing is that once you are done, you will see something. Now it's the age of innovation.
Yeah.
Maybe a business invent a solution today and it's working, but they cannot sit because somebody is going to take this same invention and make it better. So that means they need to continuously innovate, innovate, innovate. If you have people from the other mindset, they were done with the first project. You see, they were not going to go over it to innovate, to innovate. So that's how different those two eras are, and that you need people who can work that way. It's a different work style.
And that also adds to the value that you bring to an organization when you come in from an external perspective. You're able to get visibility into where an organization is, where they're heading, and where you would
Mhm.
sort of recommend for them to be focused on and going into a perspective that
Exactly.
internally they wouldn't be able to do the certain conversations. They wouldn't be able to have visibility in the culture. They might not just do it, right? Because everyone is kind of head down doing their job, but is the organization moving towards the transformation that it needs to in order to survive the next generation of consumers and the change that the impact of COVID and things like that has had on businesses.
That's
So
correct. And now I advocate for every business unit to have an innovation process
mm.
in, so that they constantly reinvent themselves.
Okay, so it seems like even though an organization at large might not have the legs to be as agile or maximize things like design thinking and so forth, now when they create that subset within the organization, they can be able to sort of create that internally, get the gears spinning within that subdivision of the organization, and that can in turn kind of flow out when outputs is being put out and things like that.
Exactly, exactly, exactly.
Wow. Let's touch a bit about culture, because all that you've spoken on, really looking at the current state of business, if IT is siloed, how we bring those two together, it seems like culture is playing a major role when an organization is looking to undergo transformation. So how does culture shape digital transformation, and how should leadership be thinking about bringing their culture along this journey for the betterment of that end consumer?
It won't be difficult. Once they have a vision that is shared, then there will be value shared.
Mm.
And the thing that's matter for them to achieve that vision. And it become a way of working, a way we support each other. If we work as a team, we have a common vision, and I see someone is lagging behind, And knowing that if this person stay behind the whole team, he might bring this whole team back,
Bring it down.
hold the whole team back. So what you're going to do is that you have in your team somehow to help the person who is lagging behind to align with us. You see? So that then there's some value that is created in it. It's kind of collaboration. And at the same time, if it's the person that risks the whole team, then you will separate from that team. That's how value are created. And that's how culture are created in the organization. It's the leader's role to define the value, the culture, and all that are important to put. Because what happens is that we are working in team. Unlike the robots do not have feeling, they don't have sentiment, while we as human, we do.
There's emotion there.
So there are things that will make us more excited, dynamic. I mean, things that will make us more dynamic to produce. And there are things as well that will slow us down. So the leader will need to define them. The leader will have to define the value, the culture, and once we share all the value, the culture, and then we go. And that's also why it's very important to have a good vision in the company, because when there is this lack of vision, it's difficult to have a company culture. Because we are there, we don't know why we are there, it's like we are just there for the paycheck. That's the worst thing that could happen for someone in a job, being there only for the paycheck. You cannot see the future. There is no good, there is nothing that you are proud of. Every employee should be proud to say, I'm working for this company, we are doing great stuff, we are building this, we are building that. When there is not that, when it's only just the paycheck, oh gosh, that's the worst kind of employment. So leaders, it's important for them to define the vision, take the vision from wherever they are at the organization, to take the vision from the top to bring it down to the people and have the shared value together as we are working toward that same vision. So, that's a lot of work for the leader, and that's also why I recommend to have leadership team, not just one leader, because there's too much in transformation happening. It's important to have leadership team above that will bring the vision and the mission down in the organization and creating the culture.
Man, you hit on so many gold nuggets. Let's wrap up by really talking about the employee now, right? Being in an organization where leadership is bringing down this sense of change, this sense of direction, with all that's going on around us, right? The changes that is happening, the transformations. How does an employee, how does an entrepreneur, someone that's really looking to create change within their industry, think about building up their skill set, think about taking advantage of the melting of the digital world and the physical world coming together? How should individuals really position themselves to take advantage of that?
Well, it's very important to stay informed, depending on the field you are. I always say, everyone in the industry you are, in the field you are, look out for what's happening, the innovation. And if you don't see any innovation, then that's a great opportunity for you to create it. You see, because it's happening everywhere in every branch. So it's very important to stay aware, to keep reading, to keep watching or podcasts just like this online. It's very important to stay informed, to research, and to question what you see. And that's how innovation comes. How you could do it better, how you could improve an existing solution, how you could improve an existing product. So it's not only depending on your field. It's not looking superficially, it's to go deep. To go deep in information, in research, and it's very important to stay aware in your field what's happening, but as well about the different tools, digital tools, digital innovation, technologies that are happening. And the third thing, it's about self-transformation. It's a journey for all of us, for you, for me, for anyone, every human.
Very
It's a
true.
journey for us because we are in a changing world, and every day is
Changing. Yeah.
different. You
Yeah.
see,
Yeah.
so it's very important to self-transform, and there are things we are comfortable with them. We are very attached to. You never know, tomorrow it may change, and we have to reinvent how we do things. So that's the way it is. And I always say, anyone who thinks they can do it without artificial intelligence, without machine, they need to rethink it, because the machine will outrun you. Because we are human, the machine is complementary to us.
Exactly.
We should not think of it that the machine is replacing us. It's not replacing us. It's not like science fiction. Fiction, artificial intelligence, they show the
Completely
machine, it
replaces. Yeah.
does everything,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's not real AI.
And so
You know,
that's why I think, just like what you've said, individuals really should be empowered to self transform and really figure out where they can position themselves within the organizations or even as entrepreneurs to create solutions or put themselves in a position to complement the technologies, the robotics, because it is not a matter of, oh my goodness, being so fearful of the replacement, but it's a matter of what value, what skill set can you still bring to the end consumer while being augmented, right? Augmenting the power of technology, because certain
exactly.
outputs, right, it can do it so much more. But the value of the human that
Mhm.
they're putting on a product or end consumer, no robotics can ever do that, right? So it's
Exactly.
about that complementary blend as you touched on. So
Exactly. That's the new business intelligence.
mhm.
In fact, that's the digital intelligence is not human. It's not technology. It's both human and technology combined together, delivering a new outcome. That's the new business intelligence.
Oh man, Nadia, thank you so much for this conversation. This
Well,
book, if you haven't got a chance as a tech leader, check it out. Leveraging Digital Transformation, recently launched by Nadia. Where else can leaders find you if they're looking to learn more about your expertise with digital transformation?
leaders can find me online on digitaltransformationleaders.com, and as well on LinkedIn, m.nadia Vincent. I'm on Twitter, IT Transleader, but generally m.nadia Vincent on LinkedIn or digitaltransformationleaders.com. That's fine.
Super cool. Super cool. Once again, very grateful for your time, Nadia. Thank you so very much.
Thank
Until
you.
next time, have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. You too. Have a good day.
All right, leaders, I am so grateful Nadia really honed in on her experience in really bringing to light the value of individual transformation when an organization is looking to undertake digital transformation at large. We're learning over and over that the value of an individual transformation, business transformation, even before you look at tackling the technologies that are at play, it shows you the value of people, the value of the mindset in transforming your organization. These conversations have been amazing. So thank you so much for taking time watching and listening to The Rozy Effect. As you already know, we don't walk to therozyeffect.com. We run to therozyeffect.com. That is TheRozyEffect.com, and subscribe, because I don't want you to miss not one other interview, discussion, conversation that really brings full circle the value that business leaders have in terms of the transformation that they are undertaking right now with the current disruption, and also on an individual level in taking charge of your transformation and building out your brand, your career, and your purpose in being able to create impacts in today's world. Thank you so much and have a good rest of your day. Until next time.